it, your pal Ron Howard from Extreme Sequences, bringing you a early or late Monday minutes. I got to make up for the one that I missed, so we're going to do something special today, and I'm going to go ahead and release it today, and I'll probably do another one this coming Monday, but this one's sort of a special one, and I really am excited to share some of these new enhancements in xLights that are just amazing. And I'll give you some backstory before I get into xLights 2024.4 Quattro. Man, this has been long needed, and hats off to the devs. Specifically Gil Jones for something he did. Last week I was in a training class that I was giving in Arizona over there at Gilbert Engineering headquarters in Arizona, and Gil was in the class. He was helping, one of 4 helpers, helping out with everybody. And one thing that's really great about devs when they go to these classes is they listen to people and the questions they ask and the struggles they may have in class, whether it's navigating a window or just trying to get something to happen. And Dan Culp has been great at this and made code enhancements during class, and Gil Jones did the same exact thing last Saturday. He spent basically most of the day working on what I'm going to show you, and then went home and worked another 8 hours or so on it to get it committed, and it released yesterday in xLights 2024.4. Before I get going, smash that thumbs up, join the channel, subscribe. It does help. All right, let's talk about some of these enhancements. And I'm just going to show you the list. Actually, I'm going to show you a list in a minute. First, we're just going to get into what I think is the greatest part of this. Then we'll look at some of the other enhancements from various devs. Whole house effects, center point. These are all things that have been instrumental in our shows for years. And in 2019, I had walked up to Keith Wesley and had asked about, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we could have a center point that would lock in a place, so to speak, so that if my center point was over here and it went on someone's home and their center point was over here, it would throw it all off, and they would have to manually adjust various effects throughout the sequence to get it to line up where center point is defined by their home. And I don't think he was interested at that time. Again, I probably poorly explained what I was trying to achieve, but it did happen eventually. And so that is as simple as, and let's just take a look at the screen here. That's as simple as choosing a group. Okay. Now, the one caveat to this, and this may be changed, right, because Gil's all over this, is that you cannot do this in the 3D space. You have to be in 2D. So if you deselect here the 3D, if you're using 3D, you'll see that there is a crosshair in the center of this layout here. Now, that isn't necessarily where xLights originally put that crosshair, because it's going to look at the buffer, it's going to look at the far left, far right, top and bottom, and try to determine where that might be. And so we have this ability to move this. And so I could put -500 in there, and then if I click in the other field, it will move it. Now it's going to take a moment, and there you go. So you see that it moved it all the way over to the left. And before this latest release, you had to click in the other field. So if I made this change to plus, 250, you have to click in this field. You're going to see it spin for a second. Gil's working on that as well, because there's a lot of calculations in the code happening to get all of this wizardry to work. So now what has changed, if I want to make this y coordinate 500, I can just hit enter, and it will honor it. That is, of itself, is brilliant and so appreciated. Okay. The other thing is, and this is just so good, so good, is while I have the group selected, I can now right-click on a point, and I can tell this to set center offset. Set center offset. And when I do this, give it a moment, 3, 2, 1. Bada boom, bada bang. That's so cool. Now, the reason it's taken 2 or 3 seconds to do this is that in the code, it is basically redrawing the entire layout that you see here numerous times. I think up to 3 times. So it's taking a little bit of time for it to just sort of figure it out, and then it locks it in. How cool is that? Right click, boom, there you are. So if you have other areas with groups that you want to establish a center point, for instance, this all pixels top center, and maybe for whatever reason, yours happens to be over on some far left side, and you don't want to put the numbers in and try to figure out where that coordinate is, all you really have to do is click right in the center, and you can see it. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, I can't when I zoom in, but when you see it there, you can see a little square in the center. Really helps you lock that in. Right click, set center offset here. Boom, it's done. Okay, here's the other thing. This was sort of the Achilles heel of working with the crosshairs from the beginning. And that is, once you took a prop and you moved it outside of the defined area that was used to create that center point, the crosshair would move. It was no longer centered. So now, if I go up here and click on the all pixels group, it's still centered, hasn't moved. Now, okay, and if I take it way up here in this corner, click on the all pixels group, still in the center. That is brilliant. This is going to be so helpful for people mapping, for people sequencing, to be that much more creative. Now you can go create these interesting groups where you want to have specific effects happen in a region, and it couldn't be easier. So I'll take you and I'll just drag you back into place, and boom, there you are. And I'll save that. This is just great. You have to love this. If I take, I don't know, a pinwheel, and I put this at the all pixels group, and because seeing is believing, and I'll just throw this out over here, and we'll thicken this up a little bit. There's that center point, right? I go to my layout, I move this out of the way, I come back over to the sequencer, click on the pinwheel, stays in the center. Remarkable, remarkable work. So I'm going to put this back here once again, save that, and we're all good. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. So let's look at what was in the release notes. Allow model group center red cross to be defined with right click set center offset here. Prevent model group center red cross from moving when models are added, removed, or moved. So good. Modified center offset red cross spin control, so enter key will latch value. So if you still want to enter these values, you can just hit enter and it will lock in that value in each of those boxes. Expand range from 1,000 to 5,000 for red cross offsets. This is going to be great for larger shows. And then we get into some other things. Add select effects dialog under UI toolbar. Select effects happens to be under the view windows. Select effect, which I mean I have used, but it's not something I use all the time. If I'm trying to find an effect, I go, and apparently it will go into the user interface toolbar, which I would assume is somewhere up here. I mean, okay, cool. Add, expand, or collapse to import mapping dialog box. Okay, so this is somewhat interesting, and hopefully I get this right. If I were to import a sequence, and let's just go over to desktop 2024, let's just look for any sequence. And this will bring up the mapping dialog box. I don't think this was here before, but if you right click up here, and I could be wrong, Don't yell at me if I'm wrong about this, but you can zoom in, you can move left, you can move right side of screen, left. I'm assuming that's what that is all about. And groovy, cool. I don't know if I would use that, but you'll let me know if I'm wrong. All right, let's get on here to some other things. Allow editing dimensions for image type props. Okay, I'm gonna guess at this one because, you know, I could be wrong on this one, but I was looking at an image-based prop and I was thinking, okay, is that a matrix? That's an image-based prop, perhaps. And so I was thinking, okay, what's different? So I scrolled down here and I look at dimensions, and it allows you to enter the dimensions if you have used a ruler to create a set point for inches, meters, feet, whatever. And this was either here before and I didn't notice it, or it's new, and that's maybe what they are talking about. And again, if you know for sure and you're a developer, drop a line and say, hey, no, it's this, and then we can all learn. That's great. Yeah, I'm not a developer, in case you didn't know. Yeah. Let's see. Include creator and search for sequence downloads. If you see my name, would you let me know? Because they shouldn't be there. Add preferences to hide color update warning. Oh, man, this is a nice one. And I don't see in this list, because this came from Mac, I didn't see who did these. I'll have to go over at xlights.org to see who might have done these. But this is a good one because this is just something that was sort of an irritant to me. So if I have multiple models with effects and I want to change all the colors, so if I select all of these effects, and you know there's no bulk edit for changing colors, you hit update. So if I wanted to change this from red white to, you know, white red to green blue, I would hit update, and this thing always comes up going, hey, are you sure you want to change colors on all selected effects? Yeah, I mean I just did it. I don't need a safety net for this. And it pops up every time. You hit yes, and you're like, okay, I just wish that would go away. Well, I guess someone else felt the same way, because now it has gone away. If you do this, go to your preferences, okay? Hide color update warning. Yeah, I kind of like this one. So I'm going to select that, get out of here. I'm going to change this back to the white red, get rid of the green blue, hit update, and it's done. And it didn't ask me if I knew what I was doing. So I sort of really appreciate that. I haven't really checked out the other things on here, such as the scale to sphere, get better 3D export. Resize, relayout several dialogues. So I guess they've made it possible to resize some of the dialogues. Great. DMX effect put 16 channels on one page. I think this has been a big deal for a long time in the DMX world. William Morris was on the call last night, was talking about this. He says, you know, that's really going to help out people that use DMX. That's not my bag per se, but apparently it's a very good thing. The most significant thing I think on this release, and I know there were some bugs in .3, and hopefully those have been addressed. Drop me a line after in the comments if you update to .4 and you notice some significant improvements in .4, so that we can all feel a little more comfortable going to it. On the Mac side, I didn't notice a lot of issues in .3. It seemed fine. .4 I just installed last night, so I'll be working with it today and see how it goes. And then other than that, you know, again, show a little gratitude with attitude and thank the development team. They do wonderful, wonderful work that we all benefit from. All right. This has been Monday Minutes. I'm Ron Howard. We'll catch you later. See ya.